Hey guys, I just want to show you a couple of things that I figured out or learned when I'm trying to balance the throttle bodies on this 2015 KTM Superduke. So I did buy the Rottweiler Stage 3 SAS Delete kit. They came with these yellow hoses. I think they're called Tygon. Anyway, part of the advertisement for this Stage 3 kit was that it's really easy to balance the throttle bodies, which is something I think this bike needed. It wasn't, it was quitting sometimes at a light and had some trouble with really early throttle application, just kind of hesitating and coughing a little bit. And I think that was the throttle bodies weren't balanced, so that kind of sold me on this Stage 3 kit. However, once I started getting further along, I realized it wasn't really that simple or that easy to balance the throttle bodies. I'll show you some things that I had to modify on the other side to help me do that. Anyway, I did not buy the Pro Motion or Motion Pro, whatever it's called, the vacuum gauge kit. I made my own. It's a lot cheaper, and I used some hosing from Lowe's and a yardstick. Anyway, the point of it here is that I got these plugs. I have got these little plugs that are a cut-off carriage bolt, and they fit nicely right here in this hole, and plugs off the vacuum on this back side, and then the motor pulls vacuum on the front side, and the colored water will go up, corresponding to how much vacuum each throttle body has, and so that you can balance one side or the other. A couple of things that might help you. I found that this worked really well because when you pour the water in these tubes, you can get them close but not exact. But then when you push these in on the back side, they act like little pistons, and if you push them in or pull them out, they'll raise or lower the water just by a little bit. So you can get this as close as you can by pouring water in, and then make them exactly by pushing this in or pulling it out like a little piston on the back, and it also seals it. And I just kind of jerry-rigged these hoses together. Also, one of these is for the front cylinder, one of these is for the back cylinder. I don't know which one is which. It doesn't really matter because I just start turning the screws on the other side until the water balances. And I don't really care which one is which as long as it's balanced. This is where I had some difficulties with getting the throttle bodies balanced with the stock setup. And I'm mechanical, but I'm not a mechanic, so I don't know the names of these pieces. I apologize. But there's this screw that points this way is what is it, kind of adjusting or balancing the vacuum between both sides, or balancing the throttle bodies, in other words. And then there's this other screw, which is like the what's the word? It's like the lock. It determines how far the butterfly valve can go. And I replaced it with you can see I replaced it with a hex bolt and a spring and some Loctite, so it doesn't really move. And the reason I did that is so that I can get at it really easy with a tool. The same thing on this bolt. When it comes from the factory, it's like one of the torque star pattern bolts, and it's difficult to get at. So I got an 8mm head from a different bolt and welded it on. I welded it onto this bolt so that I've got an easy access. It's just easier to get at if you've got a hex on it. And then I had to make a special little wrench to get in there, which I'll show you right here. So this is the 8mm wrench that I went and got. I think it was like $2, but I cut it and then I bent this head over just a little bit and then ground away some of that metal there. So now it fits nicely right around this corner. Let's see what the best view is. Nicely right around this corner to get at that bolt. See, it just drops in, drops right over that throttle body support, and then I can adjust this up and down to balance the throttles, and I can also get at this bolt too. So that's pretty easy. One thing though, this plastic tab right here, I think I'm going to trim that away a little bit. There's a plastic tab that's part of the air box. I'm going to trim that away just so I can have more leverage if ever I want to move that bolt, which I guess I shouldn't want to move it too much. This front facing bolt that faces this way is the one that balances them, so that's more important. Otherwise, I'm impressed with the look of the Rottweiler kit, and I think that's it for now. I'll show you the procedure next here and what my throttle bodies look like when they're not balanced. So you can see with the motorcycle running that one of the cylinders or one of the throttle sides, the intakes is pulling more vacuum than the other side. And again, I don't know which is which, but it doesn't matter because I just turn the screw until it balances. A little bit hard to do it with one hand while holding the camera, but I'll adjust it and then I'll show you. It's really easy to do. So now it's a lot more balanced, and that's maybe like a quarter of a turn or so, maybe half a turn. Not quite there yet. So let me just do one more. Let me go the opposite direction I've been going. I've been going up, so let me go down. It's just real close. Try going down one more notch on this guy right here. Maybe too much. Or maybe I'm going the wrong way. It doesn't really matter. I'll just keep adjusting it back and forth until it's right. There you go. Pretty good. And I will say that the engine was all warmed up before I started, which I think I read you need to do. Oh, and I bought the manual, the repair manual for this bike, but I couldn't find anywhere in the repair manual the proper procedure to do this. And I couldn't find any good YouTube videos, so I hope this helps you. Let me know.